for Zoom meeting.
Okay, it is 2 o'clock Eastern, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hello and welcome to everybody. My name is Jason Goldfield, and welcome to our monthly workshop brought to you by the Florida Outreach Center for the Blind. We definitely are in for a real treat today. We have several representatives joining us today from Pneuma Solutions. And I'll let the gentlemen introduce themselves and we'll let them speak and give their titles and whatnot, whatever they like to say. And they will be the ones demonstrating the wonderful, outstanding products. So today we're here to learn about Remote Incident Manager, Scribe for documents, and Scribe for meetings. And with that, I am going to turn the floor over to our representatives. Who would like to start us out today?
I can. Me.
All right. The floor is all yours, gentlemen.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is Mike Calvo, co-founder and CEO of Pneuma Solutions, and this is an awesome opportunity. I have here with me the dynamic duo of Sean and Will, or Will and Sean. I don't know how that works, but they are amazing gentlemen, and Will is going to take the lead in presenting. Couple things. We ask you to please hold on to your questions until we ask for them, just so that we can make sure we get to everybody. And we may just answer the next question you're thinking about. We've done quite a few of these, so you're going to have some takeaways. Will is going to give you a link that you can look in the chat, and it is using a technology that is called Scribe for Meetings. And what Scribe for Meetings will do is it will sync what Will is showing on the screen when he does the PowerPoint presentation thing, and you'll be able to follow along just like any sighted person in an accessible format. And you can even take it away with you. Can download it to your heart's content, take it away in Braille, large print, MP3, whatever you want. And with that, Pneuma Solutions, basically, we are the successor to Serotech. Serotech spent 17 amazing years in this community. My business partner became very ill in 2017, requiring us to shut the business down and just kind of keep things going for a minute to see where life was going to take us. And in late 2017, I started working with Matt on a few different things, which eventually turned into Pneuma Solutions. And what we do here is we do accessible cloud solutions. We were the first company at Serotech to be a cloud services provider. And what that means is that our services do not necessarily live on your computer. They live in that wonderful place that is called the cloud. And what that means is that you can access it with a number of devices from just about anywhere you are. It's literally ubiquitous accessibility. And I am just so excited about our accessibility anywhere products. Pneuma is a lot more geared towards the working blind individual. We still have some legacy products from Serotech, such as Sero and DocuScan Plus, etc. Some of the older products. We still maintain those and kind of help keep those going. But our main thing here are our conversion cloud services and our remote technical and training support product, which is what these guys are going to talk to you about today. But I do want you to know, don't know if you've heard of us as far as being individuals. I've been in AT since about 1989. Don't know if you've heard about me on a lot of different podcasts and stuff, but we started the Accessibility is a Right Foundation in 2007, and it gave away the world's first web-based screen reader called System Access. And when IE died, so did SA. So because you can't do what you used to be able to do with IE with any other browser in the world. And that's both a blessing and a curse. But with that, let me introduce you to the two folks here, or let them introduce. We have the older bull and the young bull, I call them. These guys are amazing support people. We don't have salespeople here at Pneuma. We have basically technology consultants. If you can't use one of our products, we're not going to say, well, you're out of gas. We're going to help you. If we know, we're going to tell you, hey, you should go to this place or you should look at that. Or we're going to make note of it and tell our development wizards, hey, maybe we need to look at this market because we've been getting a lot of requests for it. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Will Walsh, who's going to start us out today.
Well, thank you, Mike, for that warm introduction. It's a pleasure to be on. Actually, my first presentation. I've actually been here, fun fact, not to scare y'all, no pressure, but I've been here for just around a little over 2 weeks. I'm joined here, though, today by my awesome colleague, Sean Beaver. We are really, our titles is really solutions consultants, but we are really jacks of all trades, kind of like Mike alluded to. We, we care, we're dedicated to the mission of Pneuma. We care about our customers very deeply. We're committed to not only growing the company, but providing plenty of great customer service experiences for our current really loyal and new users, of course, as well. Little bit of background about me. I actually graduated. I'm a former college graduate, graduated a few years ago, and knew pretty well then and there that as somebody who is completely blind, that the reason that I was able to get as far as I did was because of AT. And so being in a lane where I could really make a difference and work for a great company with all the right people was ultimately where I wanted to end up. And voila, met Mike and got connected, and the rest is history. Sean, you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Sure. Mike, appreciate the great introduction as well, and Will. I'm the older bull, as Mike puts it, and I've been in the AT for many years. I actually did AT consulting back in Las Vegas for about 10 years. Now based in Oregon. I'm self-taught, so I don't have a college degree behind me like Will does. But I've had a keen interest in the space for all these years, and about a little over a year ago, an opportunity came up that Pneuma Solutions, the company I hadn't heard of, had a job opening, and I interviewed with Mike, and I liked the spirit of the company and what they stood for, and was very interested in joining them, and which I did back in last March. And as Will says, Mike, I do a lot of different things. I wear a lot of hats, as does Will. Pretty much, if there's something that needs to be done, we do it. Yeah. We are very much solutions consultants. If you have a problem, we try to find a solution. So that's pretty much it for me. I mean, my story isn't very complicated. I've just been interested in the space for a lot of years and taught myself a lot of things.
Yeah, both of us are blind. I don't know if that was underscored before. Really, all of us as key employees of this company are blind. I think that's one of the core values here at Pneuma Solutions, is that we really try and foster the idea of helping the blind person get a leg up in this employment world. And
Oh, no,
I think
absolutely.
and I think that's something that Mike has really perfected. That's an art Mike has perfected over the years, and he really believes in it. And frankly, it's one of the reasons why I decided to come up aboard. So thank you to Mike for giving me such an awesome opportunity. With that, let's get going. I am going to share my screen. Now, as Mike alluded to a minute ago, what's going to happen is in the chat, if you guys do Alt H, and I want to say that you guys should, keyword should, we can should all over ourselves, be able to access the Scribe for Meetings link. And what that's going to do is when you click on it, it's going to allow you to follow along with the slideshow I'm about to screen share here in just a sec. If it does not, you can go to scribeformeetings.com. And then from there, there's an edit box, and you can paste in the meeting link that you use to join this meeting into that edit box, and it should pop up that way. So you've got an alternative method in case the chat isn't working for you. With that, I am going to share my screen, in particular this slideshow. So bear with me here for just a second. Let me get this.
Just a really quick note, this is Jason, and for our telephone users, unfortunately, that is a function. If you dialed in via the telephone, unfortunately, you won't be able to take advantage of that. So just as a quick note about that.
So as Will is getting that ready, just wanted to comment on something he had said before. We've been we've been told from way back in the Serotech days, it's reverse discrimination. I'm like, well, maybe sue me, but we keep a couple of token sighted people around to do our things, and then everybody else is blind here. So we all dress funny and all that. But no, actually, we don't dress funny. But it's amazing that we can get dressed in the morning. Don't you guys think? All of us?
Yeah.
At least other people think so. But
Yeah.
Okay.
no. Are
So
you ready?
Yes. So the slide should be up. Again, keyword should. I believe I just did that. I am now going to Alt Tab back over so I can work these slides in PowerPoint. Now, the key is, again, you must go to Scribe for Meetings in some way, shape, or form in order for this to work properly. Again, scribeformeetings.com. From there, you'll be able to you'll be able to paste in the invite link from this regular Zoom meeting, the regular Zoom meeting link, be able to follow the slides through there. Or you can, if you're able, go to the chat window, which is open today and today only, to view the link that I've gone ahead and dropped in. But with that, we're going to start with slide 1. And there are a couple things that you'll notice right off the bat if you're viewing the page. We have a bot in here, and that is basically they're only for transcribing these slides
Will,
through AI.
You're not up. You're not transmitting.
Oh, I'm not?
No, sir. Did you select the actual, because remember you've got
I did.
when you share the screen, you got to select the
I did.
The PowerPoint,
PowerPoint.
presentation, the slideshow.
I did.
Oops.
Okay.
Oh no, hey man, it wouldn't be a demo without this kind of thing.
Yeah, of course.
So it doesn't show. Did you start the slide presentation? Did you hit F5?
Okay, give me 1 second. I got to go to Files and try this again. Okay, there it is. Okay. All right.
And there we are.
All right. Technical difficulties averted. Thank you, Mike, for looking out on that front. Here we go. All right, couple things. If you are on the page where the slide transcription is happening, you will see a suspend button and a go live button. If you click that suspend button, it will allow you to move forward or backward through these slides, basically at your own pace. If you go back to go live, where you hit Alt L as a shortcut, you'll be able to view the slides as I advance them. So slide 1, Introduction to Pneuma Solutions. It just has nice and simple, nothing fancy schmancy. We've got Scribe for Meetings, Scribe for Documents, Remote Incident Manager. Those are our 3 main focus areas today. It's got me and Sean's name. It's got the date. And that's all she wrote. So I'm going to hit my space bar to go to the next slide. And here we have our introduction slide. If I move down here. So at Pneuma, we are very dedicated to empowering accessibility through cloud technologies. We actually happen to believe that accessibility is a right, not a privilege. And our mission is really to make information and communication alike accessible to everyone, regardless of their disability. We're all about diversity. And our key achievements, as we've alluded to, are cross-platform remote desktop solution for both Windows and Mac. We've got our Scribe for Meetings, which is what those of you who are looking at the slides now are experiencing, and Scribe for Documents, which we'll talk a little bit about later. And I will move on to the next slide. And we're on to our products. So as we said, we offer a range of products designed to, enhance the accessibility lane. Our two main flagship products, and we're not taking away from Scribe for Documents, but our two most popular ones happen to be Scribe for Meetings and RIM, or Remote Incident Manager. And if you would like, I'm not going to play it here, but we do have a little mini webinar that you can click on and watch a little kind of quick demo of how Scribe for Meetings works. There's some, Mike, I think there's some visual aspects to that as well. It's on YouTube, but just kind of a quick way to showcase what Scribe for Meetings does. And again, you can view that on our YouTube page.
What that video is really good for is if you have sighted colleagues that you're trying to explain what it does.
Right.
And, it's just a great, picture is worth 1,000 words, and this video is worth 1,000,000 of them to a sighted person.
Yeah.
Because it's geared. I mean, we'll enjoy it as blind folks, but this is for them. This is for them to watch. This is for your employer to look at. This is for your people over at the college special accommodations office to look at, so that they can understand what you need, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right. And I can't speak for other blind folks, but I know me personally, I prefer live demos. But we know, as well as anybody else in this field, that sighted people have a different way of looking at life in general, no pun intended. And you know what? They're going to want to have a really quick and efficient way just to visually appreciate what it is that we're doing. So that, again, that's what that video does aim to do. So good summing up on that one, Mike. So Scribe for Meetings. So the key features of our Scribe for Meetings platform are the ability, obviously, to view the slides in real time, as some of you are doing. The ability to, as I alluded to earlier, suspend the slides and be able to move forward or backward between them at your own pace. And if the presenter decides, the ability to download the slides in chosen formats. So we've got a whole slew of different options, everything from EPUB, BRF, Microsoft Word, we've got HTML. You can literally, the world is your oyster in terms of downloadable file formats. We definitely have not compromised, to say the least, in that realm. So if you wanted to, and you're a Braille reader like myself, you could download it as a BRF, emboss the slides out, and have it in good old-fashioned hard copy Braille. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of old school. I still kind of like that. And obviously, all of our stuff is WCAG compliant. So through the magic of AI and impressively good coding by Matt, the one and only Matt Campbell, we are able to essentially take the stress out of accessibility on your end as the presenter with Scribe for Meetings. So all of the slide content is going to be nice and marked up with headings and anything else. If there's images, we'll try and describe them for you. We can't guarantee perfect accuracy because a lot of it's through AI, but you know what? We'll get pretty darn close for what it's worth.
But that's therein lies the very secret behind Scribe for Meetings, I think, Will, is that the user, unlike before where we would have to be, if we were doing a class or we were doing a meeting, someone would have to literally know about accessibility.
Right.
They would have to take that PowerPoint, they would have to prepare it, and then they'd have to get it to us. And what about that last slide that the presenter added at the last minute or whatever? Right. And now the presenter doesn't know how the heck to do accessibility. Well, that's where what we do, you just upload your document. We take care of the accessibility, and we do use augmented document remediation. It is AI, which means AI is going to do its part, but if it doesn't do well enough, we have certain packages available where we have people that can remediate it for you. But that's a whole different conversation. But as far as this goes, the presenter does not need to know a darn thing about accessibility. So the system is going to take care of it all. Even if the presenter wants to give you their PowerPoint in advance and they don't know how to use it, you can still work with them and get. We have a little bot in here that's watching the screen and moving the slides as Will moves the slides as the presenter. And that's all Will needs to do, is to get the presenter to understand that he needs this to happen while he's attending the meeting, and it does the rest.
Yep, it's literally like magic.
So basically,
For right now, I just wanted to add real quickly, we are currently supporting Teams or Zoom. Other platforms we're aware of the need for other avenues, and I think that there's internal talks. Am I right, Mike, about getting Google Meet and some other platforms integrated?
We're always looking at different platforms. I mean, I don't want to promise any timelines.
Right.
The next one I think, though, would probably logically be Google Meet.
Okay.
Just because it's so popular. But right now, really, I mean, Zoom is a majority of the market, but we also do Teams. The federal government is actually pilot testing Scribe for Meetings right now. They have been for a couple of years, and I think we're about to get a contract. So cross your fingers.
Whoop-de-doo.
We'll see. But they've been enjoying it, and so far, I mean, other platforms are always cool. But one of the things that we want to do here at Pneuma is make sure that the stuff we've got works
Yeah,
before we
absolutely.
start adding a bunch of fancy stuff there.
And I posted a link at the end of this slide, so if y'all want to go and read up more about it on our site, feel free to do so. All right. All right, so Remote Incident Manager. Now we're going to have some fun. We're actually going to do a live demo of this here in a minute. But Remote Incident Manager, to put it very simply and maybe a bit brashly, it is the alternative to every mainstream remote solution that we already know and love. GoToAssist, TeamViewer, Remote Desktop. And why is it valuable? Well, for us as blind people, for starters, it allows us to take control or receive help from anybody, to either provide deal with remote support, troubleshoot training, troubleshooting, and it just works. It's really simple. Sean actually taught me this little mantra the other day that he uses when he talks to people about our products. Our products are really just like appliances, right? That they're simple, they're powerful, and they just work. And that's what I think really allows a product like RIM to shine. And that's what I'm going to show you here in a minute. But it is so much simpler than any other mainstream remote solution, in that if I was going to provide remote support to somebody, all we would have to do as a pair is decide on a keyword, and that keyword could be something as simple as cat or dog. I mean, it could literally be anything you want it to be. And the person who would want remote help would type it in to their end, and we'd be connected. I'd set up the session. The person on the other receiving end, the target end, if you will, would type that into their RIM app, and that would be it. The rest would be history. We don't have to worry about IDs and passwords and resetting different pins like so many people tend to complain about with solutions like TeamViewer. So the key kind of things with Remote Incident Manager are really going to be the ability to quickly flip between sessions. So if I'm the controller, I can flip forwards and backwards between you as the target machine and me as the controller. So we'll be able to hear each other's speech and audio from the machines, which really makes it interactive. The second really big deal is that we have full voice chatting capabilities. So which a lot of times it just makes sense to, if you want to talk to, if you want to, we want to talk amongst ourselves during a remote session. Say I'm an AT trainer and I'm training somebody. Well, we can have a voice convo, right? A conversation. I said convo. I'm getting into slang talk here. Conversation right over the remote session, and we don't have to, do anything fancy schmancy like going on a Zoom call or making a call from our phones. It just is right there. It's seamless, and the latency is relative pretty low, like really low. So you're not going to experience hardly any delay or lag as you're working with a target machine and vice versa. So I think those are the things that really make RIM what it is. And again, we have a link at the end of this one if you want to go and read more about it on our site. And next is Scribe for Documents. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to get into a live RIM demo, but we will pause briefly for any Q&A before we do that to kind of break things up. So Scribe for Documents, what is Scribe for Documents? Well, Scribe for Documents is kind of a direct result, again, of really, in my opinion, it was a direct result of COVID and the limitations that it brought about in terms of the remote world of learning and working, right? And that we didn't have readily available people to really convert documents into alternate formats, and there's a general shortage across really the nation and the world in terms of people who know how to human remediate documents. So that's what Scribe for Documents is there for. So just like Scribe for Meetings, it's simple, it's a web-based interface, and all you do is upload the document that you want to remediate. It could be an image with just text in, like a scanned image, and it will extrapolate all the text, and it will do its very darn best to mark it up in WCAG 2.1 compliant formats. So again, really and truly, you as the you as the teacher, if we're talking about a college campus, you as the whoever's has the document, you don't have to worry about knowing anything about accessibility, because Scribe for Documents does it all for you through the magic of AI and whatnot. So that is SFD, or Scribe for Documents, in a nutshell. At this point, I am going to stop my screen share of this slideshow because I need to transition over to the RIM demo that me and Sean are about to tackle here in just a minute. But before we do, I wanted to see if anybody had any questions before we move on. So Jason, I'm going to hand the floor over back to you if you want to get Manos to
Well, I'll
monitor.
handle the questions and go ahead and get yourself set up if you want. So,
okay.
All the more badges button menu.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
yeah, you sound great.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was just making sure.
Unmute. Currently muted.
Okay. Well, first of all, I was actually following along with your presentation and with your slides, and that worked out wonderful. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I was really amazed myself. I was like, let me check this out as they're doing it. And I was just like totally amazed on, how that works. So
I got to tell you, Jason,
Yeah.
I've been, Matt and I invented this thing, right? But as a blind person, it has literally brought me to tears. Just like, dude, I can't believe I'm sitting in a meeting and I'm able to participate. There is something so demeaning, I think, in slower. Somebody's speech is saying
Sorry.
slower.
That's,
Oh, okay,
that's
that
me.
was yours. Okay, I was
That-
like,
yeah.
oh, did I talk
Yeah.
to Joss?
So
Okay, go ahead.
it is so demeaning sometimes to constantly be that person that requires, I need to say I'm disabled. I need to disclose. And sometimes we just want to be that person. Sometimes, just attending the meeting and saying, hey, what about last month's, numbers? Why does it say over here on column 5, line 6, this, as opposed to, can somebody read me slide 4, or what slide are we on, or whatever. I got to tell you, it's been a game changer for us. It's been a game changer for the customers that use it. And I think it really helps a corporate culture. And one of the things that we're doing at Pneuma, and we just put a blog post up about this, is we're trying to make the Scribe for Meetings protocol and the Scribe for Meetings product as standard a part of public meetings as ASL or captioning or any of that, because we believe that it is really important for blind people to have a seat at the table. And if there are visuals being done, I get it. Before this, we didn't have them, but now we do. And this thing, it describes graphics. It does it like Will was saying, we can go forward and backward in a presentation. And the really cool thing about this is if you're part of an organization that does lots of webinars, we want to talk to you because we want to give you a present. And that present is we want to give you Scribe for Meetings for webinars absolutely free, because we want this to become a standard. And as blind people ourselves, you know why our products are so good at Pneuma Solutions? It's real simple. They're for us, by us. That's why.
Nothing about us without us.
That's right.
There you
And and that's the deal. We really believe that what you just experienced with Scribe for Meetings should be the norm, and it should be something that just happens. ASL just happens. Captioning just happens. I mean, obviously, those communities, they advocate like crazy, but they have become a standard issue part of, hey, we're having a meeting, so make sure you got the ASL people on, make sure you got the captioning, make sure you got, even if if there's going to be a video, make sure we got audio description. Why shouldn't, accessible meetings be there too? So I'll get back off my platform. This is your halftime show.
Yeah.
And here you go, Will.
Okay. All right. No, thank you for explaining that.
Oh, Jason, I'm sorry, man.
That's okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's okay.
that's okay. No, just really quick. I was about to say myself, I've always struggled with PowerPoint presentations, but I was just totally amazed. So, all right, we'll go to see if we have any hands raised. Just for those that are familiar, you probably heard this a million times, but for anybody who is new, and if you're new with us as a first timer, we're glad to have you, and we're always glad to have people rejoining us again. Just to go over how we raise our hands on Zoom really quick. If you're on the Windows PC, it is Alt Y to raise your hand, and when your name is called, you do Alt A. If you're on a mobile device, it's going to be under Reactions on your screen. You'll see raised hand, and on the main screen will be unmute when you're called. If you're a telephone user, it is *9 to raise your hand, and when your last four numbers of your phone number are called, you'll do *6. And we have Manis Pasias, who is our co-host today. He's also our bookkeeper here at the Florida Outreach Center, but today's role, he is our co-host. So, Manis, with that being said, do we have any raised hands?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Yes. I do not have anybody yet. Let me
Okay.
double check.
In the words of Pink Floyd, is there anybody out there?
Yeah, they're out there. They're out
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. That either means we're putting
yeah.
people to sleep or we're being really, really informational.
Exactly.
No, you're fine.
I prefer the latter to the former, so I think Will's doing a
Yes,
great
absolutely.
job.
Absolutely.
By the way, one thing that was not mentioned in the earlier presentation, and there's just so many features that we all and remember, sometimes it's because we go, oh, he's just been here a couple of weeks. No, it's not that he's been here a couple of weeks. It's that most of our products have a gazillion features, and we try and figure out, okay, which one are we going to push? But I think one of the latest and greatest features of RIM is the fact that it works on both Windows and Mac.
Yes.
So you can go Windows to Windows, Windows to Mac, Mac to Windows, Mac to Mac. And so if you're, say, a trainer and you're training somebody on a Mac, you can literally connect to their Mac machine at their house when they're sitting at home, and you can train them from your Windows machine, or you can log on to their machine from your Windows machine and fix it for them. So I will leave, since we have no questions, Will, it's back to you, buddy.
Alrighty, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, Sean, ready to get this show on the road with Rim.
Sure.
Why don't in order to do this now, to give people a little bit of a background, Rim and Zoom have a love-hate relationship with one another, and they don't always like to play nice, especially when when you have a Rim session going and a Zoom call at the same time. You get a little bit of good old-fashioned echo, echo over and over again. So what we're going to do to mitigate that is Sean is going to hop on out of the Zoom meeting here for just a bit. I'm going to stay in because I need to be with my audio and screen shared on my computer so that you guys can hear what's going on. You will not be able to hear Sean talking to me
Until I come back.
until he comes back, but I will do my darndest to make sure I'm describing everything that is going on. So Sean, if you want to bounce out of here, I'm going to set up a session on Rim, and our keyword is bum 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 Florida. All right.
Right.
Actually, we can hear Sean.
Yeah, we will be able to hear me. You
Yeah,
start a
he
voice
can't hear us,
conversation.
so we can all talk about him behind his back.
Ooh, like it.
Yeah,
I love it.
We'll be able to hear him, and and then you know, when he comes on, you'll be able to hear everything else.
Okay. All right.
Okay, well, let me know. Are you starting the session now, and then I'll jump out? And
Yeah,
get
I'm
mine
gonna go ahead and start it. So go ahead and jump out. Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty, guys. So I'm gonna go over to my desktop just to
Documents, items,
pull this up here real quick, and I need to
FOCB monthly webinar Stripe, folder view list,
hit this, and I'm going to press
recycle bit, remote incident,
R to use good old first letter navigation. I'm going to get Remote Incident Manager up.
remote incident manager 16 of 47.
And you can probably hear my jaws. I'm going to slow it down just a smidge more for folks who
Slower.
aren't used to fast speech.
Remote incident manager.
And we'll go ahead and hit enter.
Remote incident manager 3.3.10. Receive remote help. Keyword edit.
And what we have is really easy, simplistic interface. Now, I don't want to receive remote help. I actually want to provide it. So let me find that little button.
Lang about provide help instead button.
And we'll hit enter on provide help instead.
Ready. Remote incident.
And now I, as the controller, just have to confirm the keyword.
About restream dash start keyword edit.
And I will go ahead and type in Florida, like we discussed, and I'm going to press enter.
Remote incident manager. Provide remote help document. Sending request. Please wait. Waiting for the other user to enter the keyword. Starting session. Please wait.
Voila.
Remote session. Remote session document. No links. NVDA 2023.3 RC2 is running on the remote machine. Remote session NVDA 2023.3 RC2 is running on the remote machine.
I think we understand that. Sometimes it's a little bit chatty with the version number, but
Untitled.
This is where
Notepad.
the magic
Text
really
editor
comes
document
in.
blank.
So I can now hear Sean's computer, and I'm going to actually start a voice conversation on this part of the
Flip session. Start
so
voice leaving menus. NVDA 2023.3 RC2 is running on the remote
Sean
machine.
is up, and you can hear his speech combined with my jaws. And I think this is really one of the coolest things about RIM is this. I am running JAWS. So what we can do, because I'm controlling his computer, is I can hear his speech as he moves around, or I can press keys to do different things. So if I wanted to go to the desktop, just like on my computer.
Folder view list. List top. Microsoft Edge not selected.
There you are. You're on my desktop.
And I'm on his desktop. And I can Alt-Tab just to be a little nosy-posy, see what he's got open.
List top. Untitled. Zoom column 2 of list bottom. Post list top. Untitled.
All right, I'm done messing with you.
Yeah, it's okay. That's all right. I got rid of all the unmentionables before you came on.
Oh man, I was hoping you would slip up. So
I'm the old bull. I know about this stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, and I can really do whatever I need to do. So if I needed to update software, if I wanted to do anything from help him out with a task, we're together. So as long as I'm in control of his machine, he is essentially now, I can press things or he can press things. Now,
I'm not even kidding. I have heard and we've seen technicians that can literally reinstall or upgrade Windows in place with RIM you do not require a screen reader on the target machine.
No.
In fact, you can remove JAWS right now on Sean's machine.
Okay,
And it'll
Thanks for
yeah.
advocating, Mike.
yeah. So yeah. So
I'm
it'll
not hearing
or
Mike, but I can hear you.
Yeah.
But then I'm at
So
the meeting,
Sean can't
that's
hear me,
why.
but
Which
but yeah,
which is great.
so it's a very cool it's a very cool way to be able to work outside of the AT,
Right.
if you know what I mean. You know, tandem has its place and tandem does its thing. I'm not going to disparage the competition in that respect. You know, they do their thing and we do ours, but the one thing that's a problem is if your JAWS is having a problem, so is your tandem. And that's a big deal. So
Yep. Cross-platform universal. two key facets of the name of the game of RIM. Now let's say that, you know, I don't want to be on Sean's computer anymore. I want to flip control over onto my computer. Well, if I press Windows Shift F as in flip, watch this magic.
And why would you do that, Will, by the way?
The end user is now in control.
And now we've reversed roles. So now everything is coming from my computer. And if Sean wanted to just do things, he
Folder
could.
view, list view, remote incident manager, 16 of 47.
And then you're now hearing
PowerPoint slideshow,
hearing
FOCB,
JAWS
FOCB monthly web screen sharing meeting controls,
mine.
FOCB slides
Now-
.ppt, FOCB folder view.
Now, let's say that hypothetically, let's say I wanted Sean, let's say that if Sean wanted to keep hearing audio and everything that I was doing on my computer, but he didn't want to accidentally press anything that would, you know, change things drastically or screw up my workflow, he can minimize the session. So if Sean were to do Windows Shift M as in minimize, he
Which
could
I
then,
just did.
which he just did, he could then take all of his control away. And now if I
Quentin
do things,
NVD Microsoft and Quentin
like if I open up
Outlook 31,
you know, whatever,
FO's PowerPoint, FO screen, new tab, Google Chrome.
if I open up Chrome, he's hearing, and Sean, you can confirm this, he's hearing everything I'm doing.
Yeah.
But if he
You
were
just open Chrome.
but if he were to touch things on his keyboard, right, he would be still working his own computer in the background just discreetly. And then if he wanted to return back, I want to say he could press Windows Shift F again to flip.
I do believe it will do that. One of the other great things is if, let's say, if Will had a piece of software
remote session
sitting,
document, no links.
oops,
There it goes.
yeah. Let's say Will had a piece of software on his machine that was just the coolest thing, but you know, Sean's, you know, real stingy about what he puts on his machine. So he can literally connect to Will's machine through with a flip and Will can show him this software. What that would be great for in a real practice is, so for example, let's say you need to do a technology assessment across the state.
Control plus L, remote incident manager document, remote session document, no links, remote session NVDA 2023.3 RC2 is running on the remote machine.
Okay.
It's got
ahead,
something
Mike.
to say.
Start window.
much like the founder.
All right, I'm going to disconnect from this just to alleviate the possibility of hearing speech.
Address and search.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, Sean should come back.
Yeah.
But I mean, so for example, I mean, one of the biggest problems that we have in the blindness community is how many trainers are out there. And the other thing is, because some places are geographically challenging, the trainers that we do have are sighted. And while I'm a huge advocate of any kind of trainer, sighted or blind, we should be training our own folks. But we can't if we're having challenges, if we can't drive somewhere or whatever. And this is going to provide a totally accessible way for you to remotely meet with clients, for you to be able to do long distance assessments, even for, I mean, imagine bringing up your forms that you need a person to fill out, and you just flip the session and you're literally handing them the keyboard and say, okay, fill this out, fill this form out right here. And so you could actually do intakes for your organization or whatever remotely without ever having the client leave home. And it's totally accessible.
FO screen sharing meet.
So I think that, RIM is truly a game changer when it comes to remote accessibility. And even sighted folks love it. The beauty of RIM, unlike other products, is we didn't bolt on visual access later. You've been able to see it since we started. The thing is that we did build it the way that a software application is supposed to be built, with accessibility in the DNA from day one. And that's really what RIM is. And it works for everybody. It works for blind people, works for sighted people. So an organization doesn't need to be shy about giving the RIM product to their sighted employees. We're constantly working on it. We're about to add multiple monitor support. We're about to add Braille support to RIM for our deaf-blind customers. So don't know when you're digesting this content, but we may already have it. So do visit getrim.app to figure out where we are in the development cycle.
And that, for all intents and purposes, in a nutshell, is a real life scenario of RIM in action. Now, Sean, if you are here, I'd like for you to acknowledge as such, just to, because I don't know for sure. I think you
I'm
might
here.
be. Okay. So, what, Sean, if you were selling RIM to somebody to they're really trying to persuade them that it's a good option. Mike did a pretty good job of it, but if you were kind of doing that on your end of things, how would you really market the value of something like RIM from your own point of view?
From my own point of view, is it's like I've said before, it's like an appliance. It's very powerful, but it's very simple. As the viewers should have noted, it took us very little effort to get connected. I know we had a small glitch there, but we were going to go on to show things like being able to how easy it is to move files back and forth between machines. Obviously, we showed flipping the sessions. And one thing that hasn't been pointed out is you could actually have been controlling in my machine and working with me, even if I didn't have a screen reader running. And
Yeah.
that's a very powerful thing, because this means somebody that's blind, who's an AT person or a trainer or technician, they have the power now to be able to work on computers that don't have any screen readers on them.
Right.
And which means they could assist sighted folks and not even have to make the fact that they're blind an issue at all.
Yeah, that is huge, is the ability to remain anonymous. Again, if you want to disclose your visual impairment, because I mean, let's be for real. How many people meet a blind person in their life? And while we all certainly want to be patient with those who've never met a blind person and kind of, be a good, I hate the term, but a good ambassador for our community. We want to say, but at the end of the day, we're there to do a job, right? And we don't want the job to be muddied by, oh, you're blind, so how do you do this? And how do you brush your teeth? And how do you, all kinds of stuff. I think the word that comes to mind is dignity. It allows you to preserve your dignity and dispose and as I said before, both sighted and blind people can work with the same systems. A sighted person can work with RIM and never run into a screen reader, just like a blind person can work with RIM and sighted people and never require a screen reader.
Yeah.
It levels the playing field. You could install RIM in a large organization and have all of your people that need to do support and remote tasks, sighted or otherwise, use the same product. The visual support in the product is there. So a sighted person who's doing support and training can see the screen and use their mouse on that target machine. To me, in a word, for the blind community, especially, this to me represents true empowerment.
Yeah. And we can, I mean, we have a very close-knit group of AT trainers and support professionals, and they are all using RIM. Folks have heard of Brian, the infamous, the one and only Brian Harchin. He is a very proud rim user.
Oh, I mean, you
as
look
an
at our
example.
customer list. I'm shocked. I've been in this industry for 24 years. I've run a company. I've been in AT longer, but I've been here 24 years doing this. And we can honestly say that our customers are creme de la creme. I mean, Vision Australia, the NFB, ONCE out in Spain. ONCE is just, it's a full country of blind people supporting other blind people.
Beautiful.
Yeah, like I said, Vision Australia,
Whole bunch of lighthouses too.
a bunch of lighthouses,
Envision.
Envision. I mean,
We've got several state commissions for the blind.
Yep. So if you want to see about who our list is, it's getrim.app or just at the Pneuma Solutions website, and you can look for RIM there. And we do provide trials for organizations. If you're an individual, you can use RIM on an individual basis, and we have a number of consumer packages that are available. So you can use RIM for yourself. Let's say you're out on the road and you need to, go back to your machine at home, or if you run a remote radio station. We power, Mushroom FM. We power a number of different blind owned and blind run radio stations. We run a station out in Alaska. It's not a blindness station. It's a gospel station, but they have RIM running there. Alaska gets pretty nasty in the winter, and it doesn't, their engineer is a blind guy. So with RIM, he can just stay at home in his toasty warm home and work on the radio station remotely while it's snowing in Alaska, heaven forbid. But do we have any questions, Jeff?
Hold up.
Jason.
No, that's okay.
Jeff.
Yeah, no, that's really impressive. And working as an assistive technology instructor here at Florida Outreach Center, I can see how a piece of software like this would be extremely valuable for especially me and my clients. And one thing I really like is it's not just dependent on a screen reader or a specific screen reader, for example. So as you mentioned, like I've done JAWS Tandem. So, that works fine as long as everything runs great with JAWS. And, but this just takes things to a whole other level. So I'm actually really impressed myself.
Thank you.
Mass, do we have any raised hands at this time?
No, but I do have a question.
Okay.
So both users need to have RAM for it to work. Is that correct?
Correct.
It's correct.
Well, correct.
Okay.
What I will point out is that the person that's receiving help, that's on the target side, never has to pay anything. It's completely free to use on that side. So anybody with students or other clients, they can have RIM on their machine and it'll be at the ready whenever they need it, and it will never cost them anything to receive that assistance.
We also give 30 minutes a day for training. So if you need somebody
to it.
Yeah. So if you need somebody to train you, you can get free 30 minutes a day. And if you go and join BITS with the ACB, which is the oh my goodness, I hate to remember
Blind
what is
information
technology something or other.
Specialists, I think.
But the blind geeks over at ACB, the blind nerds, go join those people. We have a special where we double your daily usage because geeks like it double, and we give an hour a day for training. Now, receiving help is always free. And little secret, the best, if you have somebody and you need to train for 2 hours in a day, you can just get in touch with the trainer after you're a member of BITS, make sure they're a member of BITS, and then write it, 1 hour and I have 59 minutes, flip the session. And then they'll be using your time. So you can double up on your time and get your training. So little secret that we don't publish anywhere, but it's definitely a RIM hack. If you will.
It just got out now.
Yeah, well,
so
that's all right.
That's called an in-house secret.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
It's
But-
also we consist of a community of tinkerers, and somebody brought it to our attention, and we're like, should we fix that? Nah, why not? Let's just leave it. I mean, so because really, if you're training and if you're needing 2 hours of support for something, something's going wrong. Something's going on. It's something important, and we certainly don't want to stifle whatever it is that you're trying to do. So
I do have a question, actually. So, you're demonstrating, having the target computer and whatnot. Are you able to, as if you have a license for RIM, are you able to connect to more than one computer at a time?
Oh, I love it.
you mean in one session,
In
or you
one
mean
session, yes.
not yet?
Ah,
That's
okay.
coming soon, but I mean, you
Keyword
can
yet.
you can install RIM on anything from a Mac to a server. So and the access can be done through keywords, the way that that Will just showed you, and that Will and Sean just showed you, or it can be done through unattended. So, for example, if you have a farm of servers, we have RIM running on approximately 800 servers in one location, and all the blind person does is just do a deployment to all the servers for unattended, and then they're all located in the admin in the RIM admin, and he can just go to any machine from a web page and just open it up and log right onto it from his desktop. So there's a number of kind of enterprisey features, which is why we offer the enterprise solution, the enterprise trial, because there's a lot there. We have real clear documentation. Also, real important for any of our solutions is something we call the SAK, or the self-advocacy kit. And what the self-advocacy kit does is it actually helps you self-advocate. So let's say you're an IT person right now, and you're a smaller office, and they've been using TeamViewer, but it's just kind of crappy. And you have a boss who you say, hey, my job would be so much better if we could use this. And we provide you the letters, depending on the scenario, that you would just fill in a template, and we'll generate the letter. You cut and paste it into an email, and you can do a reasonable accommodation request. And those letters have been vetted. They've been, run by attorneys to make sure that they say the right things, not to start any problems, but just to make sure we use the right terms, like reasonable accommodation request, things of that nature, that, you're not just using, listen, I need this thing for my job because I'm blind. All right. There needs to be a good justification, and the SAC really provides that level of justification, as written by AT professionals that are used to writing these kinds of justifications for government and for employment, and for schools all the time. So we invite you to go to the Pneuma Solutions website, use the self-advocacy kits. If you're in an enterprise solution and you need a trial, please don't hesitate to reach out. Unfortunately, we do not provide trials for consumers, because we feel that, hey, half an hour is long enough. If you can't figure out if you need it in half an hour, then, buy a RIM pass or whatever. Organizations are a whole lot different than the consumer in the way that they set up things, and that they've got to work with us hand in hand sometimes to integrate into what they do. So for that, we invite you to get your employers. If you work for a state agency, Virginia is on board with us as well. Oh goodness, there's so many of them that I lose count.
The Oregon
But
Commission for the Blind.
Yep. So, get in touch with Sean and Will, and they will definitely lead you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have another question as well.
Sure.
So
worries.
with regards to RIM for, say, consumers, I'm sure, there would be a difference between the consumer use and more of the enterprise use. So as far as on the consumer level, is the packages they offer for consumer, is it based on a subscription-based service, or is it a one-time charge type of service? How does that work?
That's a subscription.
Okay.
And we've got several different packages. We also do
Lots.
support the use. We also support buying prepaid packages of hours.
Or
So you can
passes.
or passes. You have a day pass kind of thing.
Yep.
But you can stack up a bunch of hours, and then whenever you use them, it just uses them down minute by minute. But you always get your 30 minutes for free per day. So the clock runs down on that before you start using any of your other paid time, whether it's a pass or hours. So there's we're trying to meet people where they are. So we've got this packaged in a whole bunch of different ways to give people the ability to get it at a price point that works for them and solves their issue.
We also have unlimited weekends. So I'm going to tell you right now, truth of the matter is, we do kind of model our pricing to a certain degree in the way of 1990s telephones, where you get minutes and you get weekends and weekends free and that kind of thing. And because sometimes heavy usage is, of course, when our enterprise clients customers are using the system. Now I can tell you right now, we have over 10,000 machines sitting on the network right now, and the network still, we guarantee a maximum of 99 millisecond latency. So we're not hurting for bandwidth, we're not hurting for computing power. But that being said, if you get to what we call the community support package, that will allow you to get unlimited weekends, and then up to a certain number of hours per day, up to 3 hours, I think it is, per day. And then if, like I said before, if you have you're going to get a half hour. So that's going to give you 3.5 hours a day. And if you're a BITS member, you'll have 4 hours. So you can do a lot, and be creative and help the community. And the cool thing here is if you're helping your family, I mean, this is great. Try and tell your family to install a copy of JAWS or NVDA on their machine over there. And then you're going to jump on there and it's going to start saying all kinds of stuff. Or just tell them to go to getrim.app and install, and then you can fix the problem instead of trying to walk them through. You ever tried to walk a sighted person through doing something on their computer? It's
Oh my
hell.
word.
It's hell.
Yes, definitely.
Much less having them install a screen reader and then having to kind of educate them on using, being able to deal with the screen reader on the machine while they're trying to do things.
The other cool use, and you can do this, by the way, with the free version, but you can. So for example, let's say I have a sighted, we have a sighted person here at the company, and her name is Sean. So we call her She Sean, and this guy here is He Sean. So for example, let's say I'm on a page and I have a CAPTCHA. I can connect to She Sean and say, hey, She Sean, I'm on a CAPTCHA. She'll say, okay. I flip the session. So she has my screen. She types in the CAPTCHA and just disconnects. That's it. I just got free help from a friend, and didn't have to pay for it. And that's the beauty of this thing, is that it is really community support. And what is it? You say, well, I have to call a sighted person. Listen, you know what? It takes She Sean, 10 seconds to do that.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, really, really, even if you don't want to pay for RIM, that's okay. Even if you don't want to pay for Scribe for meetings, that's okay. Advocate for us, get the word out there, use the products in the free capacity that they're provided. And definitely, we need the support of this community. We need your help to spread the word, and not just to spread the word by, we need accommodation, but hey, this is a game changer. Let's get other blind people to use these tools to build businesses, to build educational experiences, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. And the community support is $150 a year. So if you're somebody that, maybe you don't feel like you need all the features that we offer for Pro and Enterprise, but you feel like, hey, you know what, I want to at least have some ability to provide meaningful support to people here or there. community is really a way to go in terms of a middle of the road option. That was my very first. That was actually my very first package that I bought because I couldn't realistically afford $1,000 a year, $100 a month for Pro, even though I wanted it. So I settled for the next best thing, which was community support. And you know what? It worked. So just something to kind of keep in mind, put into perspective there.
By the way, how are we doing on time? I see it's 3:05. Are we running over or under?
No, I think you're okay on time, so
Good.
you're still
Okay.
doing good. Manis, do we have any raised hands?
Let me check. No, I do not see.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness. Wow. All right.
We must be educating people really
guess
well.
so.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
hoping either that or a whole lot of sleepy people.
I guess so. Well, all I
Um,
can say is I'm highly impressed. So, but
well,
you know,
we are
yeah,
very much appreciative of you having us here, Jason, and great find on the part of Sean getting
yes,
that ball
definitely.
rolling. Well, if the pattern as it is now continues, what I might be able to do is give us a little bit of a rundown of how Scribe for Documents works its magic. And I probably won't show the conversion process, but what I can do is just give a little bit of a give you a little bit of a taste, really and truly, as to how an output document looks after it gets run through Scribe for Documents. So what I will do is I will share my screen, and then I promise, I know I've done screen share after screen share. I promise after this one, I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done. All right. And I need to get to share sound. There we go.
Chat Alt plus H button. Share preview WND.
All right. So I have here a textbook. It is a college textbook. It's about 400 pages. I actually ran this through SFD overnight because it took at least an hour or two to run it through the server and do it, but it did it. And I was able to download into into my preferred format, which happens to be Microsoft Word. So
I'd like to point one thing out beforehand. Now it took a couple of hours to convert that.
Yeah.
But that was all happening in the cloud. So you could start something like this and go on and do other things. Your computer's not going to be taxed by churning away at it. You can turn your computer off and go to sleep and wake up the next morning and get your document. So it offloads that work from your machine, which is a great thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So I need somebody to help me here real fast.
More options.
Can you hear my speech now again?
You share Alt.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure it was coming through. All right, let me go to documents.
This
and
document.
We're going to
Not selected. Resumes. Research design and data collection plan. Docs 60s.
Okay, so we're actually going to start with this. This is a paper written by my other half for one of her college classes. And this had absolutely no heading markups. When I got it, it was very readable, but if I wanted to get somewhere in the document quickly, I would have had to Control F over and over again to use good old-fashioned find and replace. Now, I'm going to open this up.
Opening Word. Opening Word. Research design and data collection plan. Docs Word. Research design. Blank. 11 and Gen. Page 1. Top. Heading level 1 Psychology 3304.
Oh, hear that?
Blank. Heading level 2 Methods and Materials.
So it has not only observed the formatting of the textbook and polished it off, but it has made it into a fully heading-friendly Word document that I can now navigate through. So if I do Insert Z to go ahead and turn my quick keys on.
Quick keys on.
And then I press H.
Heading 3 Participants.
So this talks about the participants. So I want to read about that.
A total of 258 children and adolescents who were recruited from at least 8 public schools throughout the metropolitan Houston area. The participants' ages ranged from 9-16 years old and were categorized into 2 distinctive groups. Group 1 consisted of participants ages 9-12 years encompassing grades 4-7. Group 2 consisted of ages 13-16 years.
Now, if I wanted to go and bring up a headings list, just like I do on the web or anywhere else, I can do that. So if I do my classic JAWS command of insert F6,
heading list dialog, headings list view, participants 3, 4 of 9.
I can move through all these. So if I just arrow down,
design and materials 2, measures 3, field KJ 3, procedure 2, 8 of 9.
And let's say, well, I want to read about the procedure. I hit enter.
Heading level 2 procedure.
And I'm there. So that's what Scribe for Documents can really do. And we've got solutions out there like ABBY Reader, RoboBraille, similar things, in that. And again, not going to knock them. They do what they do well, and they serve a purpose for what they're worth. However, with what we've got here with Scribe for Documents, it really takes it takes everything to a next level, and you're able to choose whatever format you want. So you can download in, DOCX, BRF, EPUB, PDF, and no matter what format you choose, you can be rest assured that your content will be as accessible as Scribe for Documents can make it out to be. And again, we offer human remediation, and I would be the first to say that for the love and labor that goes into human remediation, I believe that our prices are more than reasonable, and we can certainly make that happen if that's something that you want. But if you're say a college student and you really want that unparalleled access to accessible materials, and you don't want to have to worry about contacting the AT coordinator in the disability office to find that alternate format to mark the document up for you, well, there's your solution, right? It allows you it would allow you as the college student to really stay focused on your work and the real end result, rather than having to spend so much time worrying about, well, how am I going to move through this document? Well, I've got to get cited help because I can't move through it with headings. Like, tables in it aren't marked up right, so I can't move through those. All of that is a thing of the past with SFD. And I think our prices are pretty reasonable for that, aren't they, Sean? What's the pricing structure around Scribe?
The pricing structure, typically, if you get into any quantity of pages, it averages about 10 cents a page per conversion. A typical package is an annual package at $250, which gets you 2,500 pages. I know there are some smaller options out there for buying page packs, which I don't remember the prices right offhand. I know that they're probably no more than 25 cents a page at very small quantities, but typically around you're probably looking at about 10 cents a page, typical.
Yeah, and what's really nice is you can add credits too. So if you decide, hey, 2,500 pages for me as an individual just wasn't quite what I needed, well, then the world's yours. You can add 500 pages for relatively reasonable add-on cost if that's something that you wanted. Our goal, right, is always to get this stuff out to universities and really have people buy into it on the enterprise level, so that all of the student body can take care of it, regardless of their print, whether they're blind, low vision, print disabled, and we'll get them set up with an SSO with their SSO ideally, and the rest is history. Mike, you got anything to add to that?
And we lose Mike?
Mike.
Oh no, I'm right here. Sorry, just multitasking. So you guys are doing a great job. So no, I'm pretty good. I think that we've kind of given everybody some information overload, and I'm a little concerned that we don't have questions, because at this point, we're all company guys, right? So we could talk about this until next week.
Sure.
But I do believe that we've kind of
Piece
covered,
14.
our side of things. If we have any questions, Jason, if you have questions for us or whatever, we'd be happy to answer
Please.
them.
Sure. And yeah, I'm really surprised we don't have any questions, because normally we have tons of raised hands. So
Yeah.
but I mean, you guys have given us what I think is an excellent practical, demonstration of your products, and I know I really appreciate it. So with the scribe for documents, let me ask you this. Is this something that is more geared towards, say, you're talking about the enterprise piece of this, of course, but would this be applicable to, say, individuals as well?
Yes. Individuals can pay us $250 a year or 25 a month, and it'll get you 2,500 pages.
Okay.
No. The pages doesn't. No, the scribe for documents is only
Only yearly.
only yearly.
Okay.
He got confused because of the scribe for
Yeah,
media, which
I
is
did.
$250 a year or $25 a month. But you get up to 2,500 pages unlimited, and then and that includes all of our formats. You can also buy prepaid packages of pages that don't expire. And those pricing are, of course, on the Pneuma Solutions website. There's also some enterprise pricing. So let's say if you have a library of documents that you need to be brought up to date, if there is a large library. We originally, it's funny because I never told Will the story about Scribe for Documents, but Scribe for Documents was actually created because of certain life events that I was going through, where I needed to access court documents and they weren't accessible. And the portal, I needed to upload all these electronic documents and read electronic documents from the court portal. So I asked Matt one day, can you just put something quick together using DocuScan Plus, which was our scanning thing? And he said, sure. And we called it JIT, just in time accessibility. And we started working on it back in 2014, something like that. And right around 2019, we were like, okay, this is ready to go. So we started, and we were working really closely with the Canadian government. The Canadian government, GC Canada, just really helped us so much with Scribe for Documents, just by giving us feedback, helping us stay compliant. I mean, the Canadians are super sticklers about meeting WCAG accessibility guidelines, and they really work with us closely to make sure that we met the bill. And there was a big brouhaha, and I won't go into it right now. You can find the articles on our blog and stuff, with California taking 2.7 million documents offline, and they ended up and they had 2 years to become compliant. And they didn't do they gave them 2 years to do, to make 2.7 million documents accessible. Impossible. So they only got 200,000 documents. We did an estimate, and we figured it would take about $2 billion and 400 years at their current burn rate to do what they needed to do. So we were going to go out in March of 2020 and pitch at CSUN this thing to the California government, because basically, hey, we can do this thing for, about $1 a page compared to the $17 a page you're paying for right now. We can give you multiple numbers. We can also give you human remediation when the augmented document remediation doesn't work. And we had a whole package, man. It was great. And about a week before the demo, we found out about COVID. And that just dealt us such a huge blow. And in the way that governments do, they just, COVID was a bigger problem to fix. So they ended up taking 2.5 million documents offline. And by the way, the only way they prioritized the ones that they actually put up there was because Google Analytics said they had been accessed at least once over the last 2 years. So, all kinds of data was lost to everyone, not just blind people, but to everyone. And as a blind person, I don't want to be responsible for that. I don't want to be, because I need information and I want to be zealous about it and I want to advocate for myself. I certainly don't want to, because of my zeal, turn people off, or, make it possible for documents not to be online. Who knows when those documents will come back? You know, I mean, budgets are tight these days. We've got inflation, all kinds of stuff, but we can literally do 2.5 million documents. Let's assume that each document is about 4 pages. That's 10 million documents. The cost of that would be, oh my goodness, over $300 million. And it would, and it would take, well, actually, like we just said, it would be $2 billion in 400 years at human remediation at $17 or $18 a page. And all you'd get was PDF. Using our technology, you're basically doing it for $1. So let's just do the math. It would be about, let's say 2.5 million documents at 4 pages each. That's $10 million. And using cloud technology, using the power of Amazon and Google Cloud and clustering, we could do that in about 6 months. And nobody needs to know anything about accessibility. And then if somebody comes back and says, hey, we don't like this scan, we can submit it for about $7 a page and get it done by a human within 72 hours. Never before has the power of educational level or professional level document remediation been available to the end consumer, and especially at $7 a page. So I invite you to really look at Scribe for Documents, because what it does is simple. It just converts that digital document into an accessible digital document that we can read. And of course, my phone starts talking in the middle of everything. But I invite you to check out the product and just come to us, because we have it packaged in a couple of different ways, but we do have a full API available for Scribe for Documents. So if you have a document processing system that you would rather us hook into, we can work with your developers and hook into that and do amazing things by providing, full accessibility, WCAG compliance, and human remediation for just tiny amounts compared to what you would spend if you were to do it the good old conventional way. Not to mention that there's just not enough people. There's just not enough people. There's so much work. And the challenge isn't the current stuff. I think that we've been able to, really get accessibility front and center when it comes to current document, creation. And I know that some people disagree with me, but it's certainly a lot better than it used to be. But the legacy stuff, all this old stuff, at $17 a page, you've got to really triage and decide, is this important? Is this not? At $1 a page, you don't. And at $1 a page, you don't just get PDF. You get tagged PDF, you get Braille, you get large print, you get MP3, you get EPUB, you get Daisy. You get so many different formats all in one shot. And one of the things that we're doing for our corporate customers is we will upsell a package to you that will allow us to scan your documents, your entire library again over the next 36 months. Because we really believe right now, I would say if push comes to shove, we're at about a 94 to 96% accuracy rate for Scribe for Documents. Okay. But I think in the next few years, we're going to be at damn near 99 or 100%, when it comes to accessibility, and it comes to, the document remediation and accessibility. So we will go back in 18 months, rescan. That way you benefit from whatever advances. And then 18 months later, we'll come back and do it again. And we won't stop until it gets to 99%, where the human remediated documents meet the AI created ones. I think that's the goal, and that's what we're shooting for. And at $1 a page for large libraries, you just can't beat it. So I'll get off my soapbox.
I'd like to point out that this isn't limited to actual textual documents.
No.
We can bring in a whole range of image-based formats as well. So like the infamous image PDF is not a problem.
Yeah.
And other image file formats. So we can really, work with anything that contains an image of the printed page.
Things like JAWS and NVDA OCR get the job done kind of quick and dirty, but they only go so far. I mean, you're not going to have tagged, you're not going to have markups. You're just going to get
text. It gives you the essence, yeah. And
a lot of times that text is jumbled, or it can get on one line when it really should be on two. And that's why something like Scribe for Documents really becomes so important. So
yeah. I know, and I think all of us can safely say this. I know you guys definitely have experienced this. I'm sure anybody else who's listening out there, I'm sure all of you, including myself, have definitely run into many inaccessible documents, and something like this just is a breath of fresh air. I mean, Manus, have you ever ran into something like that where you just can't make any heads or tails out of it?
All the time.
Oh yeah,
all the time. So
yeah.
If I don't have my equipment, then it's non-existent to me. So that would be very useful.
Right. Yeah. So no, it's definitely a breath of fresh air. So I really appreciate, you guys at least having that out there and people taking advantage of, such wonderful tools that really no one has really thought of or thought that would be possible. So
yeah, you have some out there. You have, for example, like I think if there is such a thing as a competitor, right? Our competitor would be RoboBraille. RoboBraille is pretty much what is used at many universities. And we have a direct comparison to RoboBraille on our website that you can read, and these guys can send you a copy as well.
Yeah.
But the differences are quite significant. We want to make sure that we get it right. That we get it right when it comes to providing this product to people. So we're, one of the biggest things for me is I'm very patient for growth. We don't have a gazillion customers for this. We don't have, just a boatload of amazing testimonials. They'll come. They came for RIM. By the way, one of the things none of us mentioned for RIM earlier, and it's totally my bad, is that RIM is not a new product. RIM was born in 2007. This is version 3.0 of RIM. So we've been doing this for a while. We've been, and I guess this is the part of the talk where I say, we know what we're doing. And we are blind people ourselves. You've seen, 3 very capable blind people up here today. I hope that whether you're here to buy our products, whether you're hearing this in an archive later, we are blind people too. We're just like you. And none of us have $1 million mommies and daddies. We have a dream, and we decided to co-labor together and build that dream with this community in mind, and just, with the talents that we bring to the table. We are not a huge company. Hey, knock on wood, one day we will be, but that's not the goal. The goal here is to serve our community with integrity and with products that do what they say. And you know what? If it doesn't do that, whether you like it or not, I'm going to tell you, it doesn't do that. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because I'm a blind person too. And I'm tired of the BS. I'm tired of companies promising me a pig in a poke and something that doesn't work. This is going to work. And the limitations are what they are. Do we do math? Hell no. We don't do. Nobody does math. Nobody scans math yet, but it's coming. With
AI.
math, AI has brought a whole new idea to math that I love, because AI will describe stuff to you. You know how many times I look at a spreadsheet and I just ask the AI, well, tell me this and tell me that and tell me the other, instead of before I'd have to go with JAWS and fight my way through Excel, which I hate. And and now I can just give the thing to Claude or to ChatGPT and say, hey, so what were the numbers for last month? Give me a summary of this. And it'll even reformat it for me, and I can tell it make it an accessible format. So it's crazy. So we're playing with these technologies, we're leveraging them, and we're inviting you to be a part of this. We want you. We want you. And if we've done nothing else today, but motivate you to, if you have a dream, I'm a dropout of high school. These guys, they all gave their pedigrees. I'm a dropout of high school. I have no formal education whatsoever. And the only education I have is the one that life has given me. And in fact, one of the biggest things that I've dedicated my life to doing is mentoring young people. I've known Will since Will was 15.
Yeah.
Will's, wasn't active, but he used our products since he was a child. I mean, it's and to me, that's just an honor that he would come and work with us, and bring his talents to this team. I'm just, I want you to hear the integrity, hear the reality. We're like you. We want to provide services, and we are accountable. So when we don't do something you like, tell us, and we will definitely correct it. But do advocate, continue to advocate. We're available by email, and you can book appointments with us. Like I said, we provide trials for professional, for enterprise type situations. So if you're at a workplace and you need to try RIM for a couple days, get in touch and we will set it up. Well, if you want to try any of these for a couple days, Scribe for documents, Scribe for meetings, or RIM, we can set that up. We have on-prem solutions. We have for very private, high security type situations, and we have our cloud services. So I need to get out of here, guys. I will leave it in your hands, Will and Sean. I've got to get out of here, and I am so honored to have been invited to the talk today. I really appreciate it, Jason. You just have a great platform. And I really
thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much. And I
Thank you very
really
much.
appreciate you guys taking the time today. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up in general. Manus, I didn't know. Well, I like I said, thank you for you guys taking time up your busy schedule. And I know you guys have definitely opened up, I hope, all of our eyes to all the wonderful solutions that you guys offer. I mean, Manus, do you have anything that you'd like to close with?
I just have one last question. Do you have like a demo on YouTube for Scribe for meeting?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
That was a part of the presentation. I believe slides were downloadable.
Okay.
So if people wanted to go and view that, we'll make sure to get it.
And if not, they're on the website. But
Yeah.
there's also one for RIM as well, and those are geared. Like I said before, those are geared for the sighted folks. They don't have audio description, but we've tried to make them as audio as possible. But yeah, we do have the videos.
Yeah, okay. Scribe for meeting is very intriguing. I really want to follow up on that one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you're
You're
welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. We really appreciate it once again. And we thank you all for coming out today. I know it's been a quiet group today. But that's all right. You know, I'm
Yeah.
sure everybody's really thoroughly enjoyed the presentation, and you know, we like to have you guys back in the future when you guys have some updates. Love to have
Yes.
you back.
Oh, we'd love to be back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you,
Thank you.
Manus.
Yes, thank you. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close. Thank you for all the people that came out to listen to us today. And we will have our workshop next month on May the 23rd. That's a little bit of a different Thursday. We had to move the meeting. So it'll be on May the 23rd. Am I looking? Yes, I'm looking at the right date. And that's going to be Vicky Pratty with Vanda Pharmaceuticals, and she's going to be talking about non-24, which is a very interesting phenomenon, and definitely for sure. So looking forward to that presentation as well. All right, and with that, we're going to go ahead and close, and I'll stop the recording. You all have a wonderful day, and we appreciate everybody coming out.
All
You as
right.
well.
All
Have a
right.
good one.
Thank
You too. Bye.
Take care, you guys.
Bye
Thank
now.
you so much.